inside a motel room. I believe it was probably a kid playing with a lighter or matches, but no injuries from that, no arrests on that one. The burglaries, we had a storage unit and then a motel room that were entered. Disorderlies, really nothing of note from those. Frauds, I've got one thing that I was going to kind of cover that was a scam that happened. We haven't talked about this for a while, or scams, I guess, in general for a while, but this happened last Wednesday. Our victim is a 68-year-old woman. She received a pop-up message on an iPad that basically said that it was Apple security and she needed to call a number. She called that number and then was transferred to somebody that said they were from a bank. And then there was things that happened. They kind of explained there were some problems with the account. And then she was sent to a couple of different people and ended up with another person that claimed to be a federal agent, who then said that she was being accused of money laundering and quite a few other things. But he basically gave her instructions to withdraw money from her bank and essentially the promise that the money would be then secure, that this money laundering wouldn't be happening, and that they would send her a check for that amount. So the unusual thing about this is they also gave instructions. So a lot of the banks recognize that there's a lot of frequent scams that happen. And so if people are looking at withdrawing large sums of cash, they ask, why are you taking this money out? And there's been a lot of loss prevented by doing so. In this case, this caller, the scammer, told the lady that if she was asked by the bank that to tell them she was purchasing a car or some type of furniture, which would explain why she was taking out large amounts. Anyway, she went to a few different banks and ended up withdrawing $58,000 in cash. She then followed the instructions, and that money was delivered, presumably, to the scammers. So it was, most of it happened on Wednesday. There was a few follow-up phone calls on Thursday, and then on Friday she made the report. So no check is coming. I think she realizes that now. The scammers are very good at what they do and very good at convincing people. They make it sound real and legitimate, and obviously there's some type of fear that's usually instilled with people with this. So we just want people to know this type of thing happens. We'll certainly look into it and do everything we can to get her cash back, but it's a really steep hill to climb to be able to do that. So just kind of a public awareness part of this.
So do you know anything about this particular scammer then? Are there scams similar in the country?
This one's this one is similar. They're not all exactly the same. There's always little differences. The big question is where they're from, where they're at, and they're so good about hiding their tracks. They could be in different parts of the country. They could be out of the country. Sometimes they're overseas. Sometimes it may be in just a different country in North America, but it's the steps that they take to cover their tracks are very difficult to untrace. And this one's a little bit different because we actually had cash that was being sent. They know what they're doing, and the unfortunate thing is they make money doing this. And so for them, it's a numbers game. They continue with these scams enough that they're going to find somebody that will fall victim to that. And that fear and sense of emergency are two key components. One of the best things people can do is basically kind of slow down, take a breath, don't do anything, talk to somebody, talk to a family member, a friend. If you have concerns about something, you can always call the police to find out. And there are some obvious red flags. The biggest one is purchasing cryptocurrency or gift cards to pay for things. This one is a little bit different, which they're requiring cash, but we've seen that before, sometimes smaller amounts, not quite this big amount, but we've seen anywhere from hundreds of dollars up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. So they don't really care the amount. As long as they get something, they're going to continue with that. All right. Larcenies, nothing big from those. The one robbery, that was the guy that was jumped. About 3 or 4 people. No serious injuries from that, but has some information to follow up on, but no arrests at this point. The sex offenses are all reports. The unattended death, nothing suspicious with that. There's an unknown problem, and that was, I guess, a report that was created in error. And then weapons violations, or I'm sorry, the vandalism's nothing concentrated in any area. The weapons violation, one of them was somebody fired a pellet gun, and then the other were some gunshots that were heard, but no reports of any injuries or damage. That's it, unless you have anything else. Okay, thanks.